This is One on One. Steve Adubato, welcome to the Cohn-Resnick Foundation 25th Annual Golf Invitational event. This is a charity outing, and it's our honor to interview for the second year in a row Joe Torre, who is no stranger to everyone watching right now. Joe Torre is not only a Hall of Famer, not only the former manager of the Yankees, just a few World Series, and also the co-founder of the Joe Torre Safe at Home Foundation, and one of the recipients of the two charities that this great golf event is a part of, right?
Yes, Steve, and I just feel so blessed to, not only be recognized as far as our charity Safe at Home is concerned, but to be connected with Cohn-Resnick for a number of years. It's a class outfit, I guess the way we'd say it in the clubhouse. You do it the right way, and people trust you, and trust is something you have to earn, and that's why I'm here. And that's why I enjoyed our relationship. Yeah,
you've represented the firm, you've been a spokesperson for the firm, and you pick those who you represent very carefully. So let me ask you, the Safe at Home Foundation started what year?
It started in 2002. And when my wife and I came to New York in '96, Allie asked me what charity you want to get involved in. And I said, how about domestic violence? Because I had just gone through a seminar with Allie right before our daughter was born in December of '95, and discovered a lot of my feelings that I never talked about, insecurity, nervousness, a lot of stuff I went through school with. I realized I wasn't born with those traits, that I was sort of created with what was going on in my home. And I knew my dad was abusive to my mom. I mean, I knew that. I mean, he was a New York City policeman, and I was 8 or 9 years old when I was in the dining room, and my sister, who was protecting my mom, because a battle started in the kitchen, and poured out into the dining room, and my dad went for his revolver in the drawer, because my sister she had a knife in her hand to protect my mom. And I was on the corner of the table, and he said, put the knife down, put the knife down, put the knife down, and I went over and took it out of my sister's hand and put it on the table, and then he closed the drawer where the revolver was. So I witnessed all that. I never actually saw him hit my mom, but I saw the results of his doing that. So, I realized that this is what's caused sort of my, as I say, when I was in high school, a little insecurity, didn't have a lot of confidence in my ability. I didn't even go out for the high school baseball team in my freshman year because I didn't think I was good enough. So once I connected the dots, I figured I wanted to scream it from the rooftops that this is what caused it, and see if I can help some of the other kids who were my age. At the time, I really felt sort of insignificant.
And created the Safe at Home Foundation.
We created the Safe at Home Foundation, and it took us a little time because we had to talk about what we wanted to do. Did we want to be care providers? Well, our talking, and I really give my older daughter, Christina, and my wife, Allie, the credit for really landing on the educational piece. Because if you're going to end the cycle of domestic violence, you really have to do it through education.
And that is the goal, ending the cycle.
Yeah, ending the cycle and saving lives. And, I think initially when we started our foundation, and I was calling around for support from different people when we were talking about putting a fundraiser together, they said, oh, it's a women's issue. And I didn't think enough people related to how many young people get caught up in that and get affected by it, even if they're, and me, I was never physically, abused. But there were scars of fear that, they continue to be with me today, but now I understand it. so you deal with it a little bit better.
By the way, we're at Liberty National Golf. This is an extraordinary facility here in Jersey City. You look outside here, the Statue of Liberty is just around the corner here. It's an extraordinary place, and the folks at Cohn Resnick have allowed us to be here and interview Joe. And Joe, when we talk about the Safe at Home Foundation, Margaret's Place.
Margaret's Place,
Margaret's
yes.
Place. Describe what that is. Margaret, your mom's name.
Mm-hmm.
These women, their children, they have a place to be safe. Talk about it.
Well, my mom was always there for me. I'm the youngest of 5 children, and you know, when I get home from school, she was there. She was always there. I mean, I relied on her. I don't think she ever took a vacation. You know, she had 5 children. We used to kid about my brother Frank, who was the baseball player before I became a ball player.
One of your sisters, I know, is a nun, right?
Sister Marguerite.
Right.
And so what we used to say that Frank was her favorite, and my mom used to say, I have 5 fingers, and if you cut off any one of them, it's going to hurt the same. And that sort of resonated with me. And so, you know, we named safe rooms in schools for these young people after my mom, Margaret's Place. It's a safe place for them to go. We have a master's level counselor. So if kids, like I did, I never wanted to talk about anything. And a big reason for that, Steve, is the fact that I thought I was the only one that was going through this. I knew there was nobody else in the neighborhood, you know, when you closed the door of their homes, that anything was going on, because that's what I was thinking as a youngster. And, you know, of course, you've come to find out differently when you get a little older and you sort of understand what's going, you know, the environment. So, you know, we put master's level counselor in each room, and they're there if the person, the youngster, wants to talk, or if he or she wants to just read a book or play a game. But more importantly, is there are other young people in the room, and they realize they're not alone, and it's not their fault. And those are the 2 messages that we give at Margaret's Place. You know, plus we give them tools to deal with what's going on in their life, because you can't solve what's going on in their life. You just want to, you know, give them the self-esteem back that they really deserve at that age to know they're going to come out on the other end of this thing.
I'm curious about something. Given your extraordinary career and your position in baseball, not just as a great player and manager and someone who's garnered great respect, how often does it happen that some of your colleagues in sports come and talk to you about this issue? Well,
you know, I think you talk to them, I think, more importantly. Now you can sort of all of a sudden recognize some of the behavior. I've had players who have sort of, you know, retreated into themselves, which is what I did. Because I used to just, I don't want to talk about it. I'm embarrassed by it, the way I am. So I can talk to players. And again, it's not like I know what you're going through. It's just that a sense that you make them understand that you care a great deal about them. And, you know, like people in my line of work when I was managing, you know, players are not going to like, you know, some of the decisions I make, and they're going to, you know, respond and react to it. And it got me to the point, Steve, of what made them say it. You know, why did they say that instead of what they said?
Right.
So I think it was a little better for me to understand my players and be able to sort of break through some of the facade or the shell they put around themselves to keep you from getting there, you know. But yeah, it made a big difference in my life when all of a sudden I, you know, wanted to talk about this thing, because I just felt there was a whole lot of it going on.
One of the things in the limited time we have, and again, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And
it's too important not to, Steve.
We appreciate it. And there are countless people waiting to talk to Joe at this great Cohn Resnick outing that happens every year. This is the 25th anniversary of this charity outing that Cohn Resnick has, raising money for the Safe at Home Foundation and the Special Operations, the Warriors Foundation. If you go to Yankee Stadium, those of us who are big Yankee fans, you see the sign for the Special Ops, the Warriors Foundation, raises money for the children of special operations, these brave men and women who have been lost in war and efforts fighting for our country. Those are the two charities that are being helped today. But Joe, my final question to you is about leadership. I did the same thing with you last year, but I talked to you about leadership because I'm fascinated by one of your books that talks about leadership. My book coming out is called The Lessons in Leadership. I asked you last year about this, I'm gonna do it again. The number one leadership, I asked you last year, lesson you learned, the number one leadership challenge that you have faced is?
Well, the challenge is to, first off, and I probably go a long way to get to the point you wanted to make. Every time I saw these books on the shelf, these shelves, these business books, so to speak, or leadership books, you felt like somebody was born with something extraordinary, that you couldn't get there, that they're going to tell you, I did this and I did that. My biggest challenge in writing Ground Rules for Winners was it's in everybody. Leadership? Just the understanding of leadership and what makes people follow. What do I do? What I do is you lead by example. You lead by example. You just don't say, hey, I'm the manager, get online, let's go. You understand that, I know, especially in this world of technology, that there is a human relationship that has to exist. You have to look in somebody's eyes. You have to be brave enough to deliver bad news. You can't just say to one of my coaches, go tell him he's not playing, or, go tell him to go upstairs and see the general manager, he's going to get released.
Or send a text message.
Yeah. I just, I have a teenage daughter, and I emphasize how important it is to have this face-to-face contact, because it doesn't take any kind of bravery to send a text message, because you don't have to see the response or see how much you're hurting somebody. So, to me, it's lead by example and make it understandable. I've got 25 players on my team, and not everybody can hit 30 home runs. Not everybody can win 20 ball games as a pitcher, but everybody can do the best they can. And it's my job to put that person in a position where they'll succeed. And that's what I have to recognize. And the only way you do that is to know your people. Yeah. And I, leadership, again, you're just trying to, put people in a position where they can succeed. And I tell my players, at some point during the course of this year, and we play 162 in baseball, you're going to be put in a position where you're going to help this club win a ball game. Yeah. And it may be something that isn't written about or talked about, but your teammates will know. And to me, it's nice to get recognition, but you're really playing for the respect of that guy in the locker next to you.
And baseball may be a metaphor for every profession.
I think so. Yeah.
Joe, you honor us, and we thank you in public broadcasting and everyone else watching us on digital, as you said, platforms. We want to thank the folks at Cohn Resnick for allowing us to be with you. We appreciate everything you do, and particularly with the Safe at Home Foundation with Allie, your wife.
Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here because of the work you do, and thank you for letting people know the work we do.
Thank you, Joe.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Valley National Bank, NJIT, MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey, the Russell Berry Foundation, ShopRite Supermarkets, ADP, and by Suez. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.